Okay, so we're gonna get to the feel-good Valentine's Day stuff. That's coming up in just a bit. But how about the underside of our modern culture? To say social media has become a bottomless cesspool might be the understatement of the 2020s. Full of vitriol and threats of violence and hate from all colors of the rainbow, but mostly just hate of anything that has to do with the rainbow. I digress. But what about those things posted that on social media like Facebook Marketplace that have nothing to do with politics or anything to do with pushing any sort of agenda? It seems nothing is immune from our social media ill will. It was just an innocent post on Facebook Marketplace in late January.
I was trying to sell a hairless doll that was my grandmother's for $40.
Angie Battle was assisting her mom and sister, which explains the disclaimer. I'm helping my 75-year-old mom sell this doll of my grandmother's.
Because they don't understand how to sell things online. So
the doll, an antique, a hairless heirloom, if you will, and included this confession.
Apparently it got burned off when it got too close to a wood stove when she was little.
But there was another line in the posting that kind of alludes to why we're doing this story. We've had plenty of advice to keep this doll, but trust me, we've kept plenty, and we are just hoping a doll collector will get some joy from her.
Exactly.
Because this wasn't the first time Angie posted this picture of her grandmother's doll.
I kept having to change it to try to get people to quit yelling at me for selling this doll.
Screaming in social media standards. I see this just the first posting. Selling an heirloom for $40 is crazy. That's the first thing somebody says.
Yes. The very first time I posted it, I ended up deleting the original post because people were just so nasty. There wasn't one person that was like, that's a good buy.
Really?
Yeah. One of the very first guys said, I don't believe it. She's looking for dope money.
Oh, sure, there are those who ask the basic questions mixed with the mundane comments, but woven into those were a spiral of sour. And then Michelle Christie says, why would you sell something with such sentimental value? And outright snide remarks. Bob Cooper, some people have no connection to a memory or a person, gone and forgotten. It's all about what can I get for their stuff. And it becomes this conversation that is no longer about the doll, but then everybody pointing fingers at each other and saying, what about you? But you said, you don't even know. Oh yeah? Who are you? Mm-hmm. What's going on?
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, people just don't have anything better to do with their time, or if they're just insensitive jerks. I don't have any
or
idea.
Both.
Could be, yeah. It's sad that social media has come to this. I remember when Facebook came out and it was such a place of joy and reconnecting with people. And now it's just like, who can I make miserable that day?
When all Angie was trying to do was make someone happy with something nobody in her family wanted anymore.
We did finally find a lady. She was so happy to get it. And she was even appalled. She's like, I can't believe how many people were so nasty to you.
But as I've learned on social media, sometimes it's best to just ignore that kind of stuff.
I tried so hard. And then I had another person say, and I got multiple ones of these to some lines, like, you're completely insensitive. You had no connection to your grandmother.
And these are the ones you
She'd
deleted.
be devastated to know you were selling her things. Yes.
And that's the part that hurts Angie the most. None of those posters knew Angie, and certainly not her grandmother.
And my grandma, before she passed away, was trying to give away everything in her house.
Sadly, Angie admits she's come to expect this kind of behavior from social media, just not from her neighbors.
You know, I grew up in Kuna in a tiny town, and people were so nice to each other. And it's just sad that people feel entitled to act like this. Sorry.
That's okay. Angie says even her grandmother would find all this fuss over her doll ridiculous.
But yeah, she really did. She wanted people to find joy in her things, and that's what we were trying to do. And I think what people don't realize when they're so mean on social media, that there's real people behind that. And I don't know, I'm crying now probably because I'm more sentimental about my grandma, but they just don't need to be that way. Idaho has definitely changed.
And I can see the messages and emails already. Slow news day, huh? Is what you call news? Well, the reason we did this story, and I think the point of it is best summed up by what Angie said when she sat down with us. There are real people behind these posts that you see on social media and marketplace type sites. And while some may be desensitized to demeaning comments, many are not. And that's good, right? Because emotions and feelings are still vital to being a human being. So on this Valentine's Day, here's a reminder. The next time you feel the need to comment on someone's social media post, including a judgment about what they are doing or what they might be doing, what they're trying to sell or whatever, or any of that stuff, how about you don't? How about let's not be so mean? Be like Bill and Ted and be excellent to each other. How about that? And by the way, for all of those who commented on Angie's post criticizing her for getting rid of something so personal, Angie would like you to know she kept her grandmother's sewing desk, which she used for more than 60 years. Angie says she uses it all the time. And that desk means so much more to her, more than any doll that her grandmother kept in a closet.